So today you are going to be making a template. If you already have a template, you can just tweak it. You can customize it. Okay. So you don't have to make the template completely from the beginning. Up to you. Here is the information about the template, and I'll go over basic template construction just to show you, remind you how to do it. These are the title block layouts here. So if you click on those, you'll see title block layouts. The way these work, form one, and then it shows it to you over here somewhere, form one along the side. You can also put it down at the bottom, but this is kind of how these things work. Form two goes across the bottom. Form three is this one, it goes across the bottom. And then you can also find more forms, which I don't have loaded, for B-size paper. I don't care which one you choose. I just care that you have a title block in your template. You can make your own title block if you want. I don't care. But we did title blocks in the first class, so you should know how to do that. You can input the information. Let's see if I can zoom that. Yeah. So the drawn by, what I would do if I was doing it, the drawn by, I would put that in, then I would put my name, and then it's always going to be there for date, right? But as far as the date, you can just put a placeholder in the date and modify the text, right? That's probably the easiest way to do it. So the title block should be kind of filled out with information that you can then edit later. That's the point. That's what we want a template. So I'll start a new drawing. Hopefully you won't have to completely start a whole new drawing, but I'll just talk about making templates. You do it from a drawing. You're going to want to set it up here in a regular drawing, right? And you just set all the settings you want to be in your template. So you should have things like layers in there, and I give you that some of that criteria, the exercise. I list what you should have in there, right? But you can make it as extensive as you want. You put as much in there as you want. Okay, just make sure you get the basic stuff in there that I asked for. Let's see, what else did I ask for? Let's go here. Yeah. So what did I say? I think I want 2 templates. Yep. One for metric and one for US. So does everyone know how to start a metric drawing? Yeah. So if I go new, right? The first thing it asks me is for a template. And if you don't change it, you're going to get ACAD, which is inches. Okay, it's going to be thinking inches. If you want metric, it's ACAD ISO, that one. So then I would say open. Now it's thinking in millimeters. All right. So you're going to have to do one of each. So a template for US, a template for metric, which means, okay, this will be my template for the metric. And then the other one, drawing 2, that one is my template for US. Okay. You can swap layers from one to the other, so you don't have to create them in both places, but creating layers is here, right? And then we can just go new layer, and we can call this visible lines. So I'm recording this if you need to watch it later. And then visible lines, here's all the properties of the visible lines. So you can change the color to whatever I ask for. If I ask for blue, these are your standard colors down here. And these are like, you want to be really clever colors. Right, so I can make it blue. We can change the line type. Visible lines would be continuous, but hidden lines might be set to hidden, right? So all that kind of work gets saved in your template, so you don't have to do that every time you open a drawing, right? That's why we make templates. So you're going to do layer work. You might actually change a line weight. So the line weights come even in the US drawing, the line weights come to you in millimeters. That's just delightful. But it is what it is. So that's where you would change those. So if you want a thicker line weight to your visible lines, you know, whatever you choose, then everything that goes on that layer, right, will have this blue and thick and continuous properties. Okay, so you have some layer work to do. I think you have some dimension style work to do. These should be set to annotative. You can't really set a scale up ahead of time because you don't know what you're going to draw. The template doesn't know that. But then in layout, we should have a couple different layouts in each template. An A size layout, which this is 8.5 by 11, right? And a B size layout. Well, they give you two layouts and they're both 8.5 by 11. That's what the ACAD template is, right? So to change that is you go down to layout and right click and you can page setup manager. So what that does, it kind of looks like a printer dialog box when you hit modify, but it's not a printer dialog box, it's a layout dialog box. So essentially you are changing the properties of this layout, layout 2, right? I could change it to B size, which is what I want, is one at B size. So now we have a B size and we have an A size here, right? Don't leave them named layout 1 and layout 2. If you leave them named that, you cannot steal them for other drawings, which we'll get into later in the term. We want to steal stuff from drawings. We don't want to have to recreate stuff that we've already created in other drawings, right? So these need to be named. We'll zoom things in my way. No matter where you put it, it's in the way. All right. So right click, rename. This, I would name it US, or I'd name it inches, right? But US A size. And then this one I would rename US, meaning inches, B size. Right? And so in here in paper space is where we would create the title block, right? Title blocks go in paper space, drawings or models go in model space. Model space in here is paper space. Yep, that's in the way again, of course. Hey, go away. Put it up here and it'll be in the way up there. Right, but here's my little paper model thing. So I don't know why these viewports don't come to us a little bigger, but I'll get it out nice and big. All right, so then in paper space is where I would create the title block. So that's really today's lab, is to create this 2 templates, right? That is something we did in GE115. This should be somewhat familiar, shouldn't take you too long. I know Juan already said he used his template from GE115. That's fine. Just make sure it's got all the settings in there that I asked for here, right? If you want to put more settings in, go for it. That's fine. So that's the first part of lab 2. That's lab 2A. Then lab 2B is you're supposed to draw a flattened view of the box given in class. That's the box given in class. Okay, so my original plan was just to have you get a ruler out and measure all this crap, and it's going to take you forever, right? And then I thought, you know what? If I was given this exercise, that's not how I'd do it. I'd do it differently. So then I thought, well, this will be a great thing to teach you how to do it. Maybe you've never had bringing in a raster image and dealing with it in AutoCAD. So this is good exercise for advanced graphics. What I want you to do is you're going to bring in that image. So I put this on Blackboard for you. Box right here, PDF for the lab. You click on it and it gives you that, right? And then you can download it onto your desktop and it's ready to go. It's got a ruler lane there. Everyone see that? So that gives you the scale of this thing. So what I want you to do is you're gonna bring in the PDF. You're gonna scale the PDF appropriately, and then you can just trace it in AutoCAD. It's super slick. It'll be plus or minus the accuracy of the picture, which who knows how accurate the picture is. You can see some of the pieces are kind of leaning at an angle. So what I would do when you do this is I would draw half. I draw this half over here, right? And get it where I'm happy with it and then mirror it over to the other half because it looks like a mirror image to me, right? So then when you draw this half, just straighten up stuff and make it good, make it clean, right? And that would be way close enough for this kind of a project, right? A packaging box. All right, so how do we do that? Great question. Great question, Mr. Donald. Which one do I want to use? I want to use this one. Oh, I should, well, I'll bring it in again. So I'll show you how to do this. So in insert, if you've never brought in images or PDFs, they're called raster files. We want the raster file, which is an image. So you can bring PDFs with this in. It says PDF import, right? And I'm under insert. So here's home. That's our normal kind of operating area. You go into insert, there's a few different things. We can attach clips, we can get clips, but PDF is nice if you know you're dealing with a PDF. And we are dealing with a PDF. So when I click on it, you can see I can do a few different things. I'm going to do PDF import, right? So then I go looking for it, and I think I called it Boxford ET116. When you download it onto the desktop, you better give it a name so you can find it, kind of thing. And you can see that it's popping up here, and I'll say open. You get the second import dialog box. This one's important because if you do not have raster image clicked, this is what happens. That's handy. That's what I got, right? It didn't bring the image in. It just brought in kind of the file name or the property or I don't know what. So that's not helping. I'll get rid of this one so you can see this happen. So let's do it again. And this time I will click raster image because I need that image and say, okay. And there it is. Cool. Okay, so that's how you get it in. That's the easy part. It comes in whatever size the image is, right? It's not the right size. So we're going to use scale to scale this to the right size. And you have to have a known length to do this. And that's why I lay the ruler there, right? So I laid the ruler there and I can see that, oh, it looks like it's, you know, 1 to right here. Hard to see, not the greatest image, but I believe it's right here. To the middle of the 12. Oh no, it's to the right of the 12. So it must be, oh, it's probably that line right there. Anyway, that's 12 inches, right? That's my known length. So this is how you do it. You draw a line. And you won't be able to see this line because it's kind of back behind this image. But you click on a line, says specify the first point, you zoom way in, and you go right where that start mark is. Boom. So you see my line I have going? Yeah, you can see that. And I come up here and I go to find the other line. And I want it vertical. So there's vertical. And then I want that line right there. All right. So that needs to be 12 inches, that line. And it's not. Like if I click on it, it looks like it's, give me a delta Y 3.79. Right, it's not 12 inches. Everyone good with this so far? Don't let me lose you. If I lose you, then stop me or whatever. All right, so now we use scale, and it's probably, you probably never scaled this way before, but you've probably used scale, but there's an option in scale. So I'm going to scale this whole thing, including my line. I'm just going to scale it all, right? So scale says select objects. I did. I hit enter, and it says select the base point. That can be anywhere. I'm just going to use like the middle of the image, right? Click. And then you see some options. Copy and reference. We want to use reference. So reference scale says or means that you have a known reference and you want to send it to an unknown reference, right? And we have a known reference. It was 3 point, what was it? Shit, I didn't write it down. You always got to write it down. All right, escape. Now where's my line? Where'd my line go? Oh, there it is. 3.7907. That's my reference. 3.7907. All right, now I'll scale it. Select everything, hit enter, select the base point down here, and then choose R for reference. And then it says, okay, what's the reference length? The reference length is 3.7907. Right? That's the length of that line. Does that make sense? All right. And I hit enter and it says, what's the new length? So I want the new length to be 12 because it's 12 inches in the image, right? Boom. It does it. Now this line, if I click on it, should be pretty damn close, right? So now the box is in here real size. It's that size. Does that make sense? Now we just trace it. Now it's a little twisted. So if I was doing this, is the top twisted? No, the top looks pretty straight. I've done this a lot. I used to do this for work all the time. So that's straight. It's a little rotated. Looks really rotated down here though, doesn't it? So that's just the picture that's doing that to us. I might check these lines. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna rotate it. So then you just start tracing it. So you can go line, and again, I would go from the middle and trace. And that should be straight. That should be straight. And I would zoom in, try and get as accurate as I can. So you can see it's going to be slightly off because these are not laying flat. They're kind of tilted, right? So we do have a margin of error for sure. And then I don't know, this maybe to here. Anyway, spend some time tracing it. And I think this is supposed to be straight. And I'd come to here. I would put these in. Just keep it the same distance away. It's not going to be perfect. But it'll be pretty close. Okay, I'm going to drop all the way down. All right, I think you get the point. When you're done tracing, you can actually move the image kind of off to the side and you see what you get, right? And then you can undo that and it'll plop it right back on. Cool. That's pretty cool. You can steal a lot of designs this way. I used to do it for Kiewit all the time. So whenever I went to capture stuff that other companies were doing, I would always take pictures, a lot of pictures, trying to get, you know, perfectly perpendicular to whatever I was trying to steal the design of. And then you always want a known measurement. So when you take a picture of something, then you can go do one measurement and then just write it down, right? And then you have it. You take the image into AutoCAD, scale it to that measurement, and boom, you can start extracting stuff from a picture. So, questions? Yeah. Oh, the mirror command. Right? So you need a mirror axis. So I just plop in a line like that, right? So if I want all this to be mirrored over here, that is right here, mirror. So creates a mirrored copy of selected objects. You do need that, see that center line that they used, you have to have that mirror line. So when I click on it, it starts with select objects, just like most commands do. When I'm done selecting, I gotta hit enter. And then it says, first point of mirror line, that's this. Second point of mirror line, that's anywhere here. And it makes a mirror of it, and it wants to know, do you want to erase the source objects? And no is defaulted. Whatever's in those brackets is default. In other words, you don't have to write no, you just hit enter. If what you want is in there, you just hit enter. And it does no. Don't erase source objects, right? So that's if you just draw one half, mirror it about, and then get rid of this. And now you have two halves that are the same. Cool? Can you do it? Can you do the templates? Feel okay with that? So, like these layers type of thing? Yeah, so that's here, layer properties. So then they have these little cute symbols up here, and that one with the little star is new layer. When you click it, it's a little, I don't know. I didn't find it intuitive when I was learning it. When you click it, it adds the new layer and it highlights the name layer 1, which is hard to see that it's highlighted because it knows you're going to change the name. You're not going to want it layer 1. All of these came in with the PDF, just so you know. When I imported the PDF, those came with it. It's not something I did. So that can happen when you import all kinds of things. PDFs obviously needs a bunch of layers. So I bet if you start erasing these, that goes away. So it's just storing the information on different layers. But this could be like hidden lines, right? So you just type and hit enter and now you got it. Good question. Other questions? No, or yeah, we're good. All right, so today's project is just to create the two templates. Inside the two templates, each one should have two layouts, right? These two layouts, and they should be named A size, B size, at least. And then your two templates, one's US, one's metric. Yeah, title blocks in all of them. So FYI, make a title block in one of your layouts. So here, I'll show you this. Go away. All right, so here I'm in paper space. I'm going to make the fastest title block you've ever seen. So there it is. This viewport I would have drug out to my title block, right? And then I'm going to put one line in down here. Let's see. All right, so there's my title blocks, pretty fancy, right? So there's ways to move these around kind of more pro than this, but once you get a title block done in one layout, you literally can highlight it, Control C, which is copy, and go to layout 2, and then Control V, and it comes in and you can place it, and you just move the first title block to the second layout. Get two drawings open and you can Control copy from one drawing to the other. In other words, don't make 4 title blocks, make one title block, copy it to your other layouts. Now, if this was B size, you're going to have to, stretch it and make it big, but still it's way faster than making 4 title blocks. Don't do that. All right. Good luck. I'm here if you need me.